Hi, it's Eliana. So today we're going to have another look at remote viewing the reptilian base and the space human military facilities on the dark side of the moon. And what I refer to as the dark side of the moon, it's not really the dark side because both portions of the moon get the same amount of light and the same amount of shadow. Both sides do, but what happens on what I refer to as the dark side of the moon is the side of the moon that we do not see, where the major reptilian base is, where telescopes do not have a reach of seeing what's there. We don't see these bases through telescopes and satellites, but they're there. And so this is what I refer to that dark side of the moon. It's not that it's dark, like there's no light, because there is, but it's the dark portion where there's dark bases. That's what I refer to as the dark side of the moon. So these bases, when I was remote viewing them, some of them, they're all on different platforms. Some of them are round. They're all on raised platforms. Some of them are more round, and some of them are more tower shaped, in that they're more taller than the round ones, and they have a higher reach. Because apparently, the way reptilians build bases is they have human proxies running the bases, and through mind control, the three different tiers of the reptilian conglomerate, they mind control the humans, slave labor, and human military to operate the bases and to operate their military and laboratory facilities. So these reptilians have gotten a hold of exotic extraterrestrials, and they've been mind controlling human extraterrestrial exotic hybrids to operate these bases, to run them, to do experiments on DNA, genetics, and they also have docking ports and facilities, both on the surface and underground, where they transport different things in their ships. They've transported human cargo, they've transported supplies, they've transported medical, holographic technology, and other advanced technologies. They've been developing power sources, power supplies, power generators in their various testing facilities of how to generate new power fields and energy. That's what the reptilians have also been directing the humans to do. The human scientists, the engineers, the human military. And they've been building out the structures of this huge base. It's not just one building. This base is one of the largest that the reptilians have on the moon, with towers, with different circular towers, huge, large towers. Everything is on platforms. And there's a lot of mountainous landscape around this huge base operation with many buildings and facilities. So they're building energy generators, they're building power cores to power this base, and preparing probably to build out more infrastructure through mind control of humans. They've literally cracked the mind of exotic captured extraterrestrials. Genetic experimentation, mind control experimentation, figuring out how to literally cut out certain portions of human emotion from the galactics, literally making them cold, logical, so they can perform their jobs operating these reptilian bases on the moon. So the reptilians are using humans, unwilling humans, who have been mind wiped of certain memories and their emotions and who they are, so that they can do the work for the reptilians. They emotionally lobotomize them. So their emotions are on a cold range of feelings that are deadened, dampened, so that they don't really care that they're working for reptilians, because they're mind controlled through emotional suppression. So these bases have different heights, different platforms, towers. They're working on different things here. So this is what I was seeing in the remote viewing. Like, these are some of the docking platforms, the docking stations, the ports on the surface. There's different ships coming and going, and there's laboratories underneath the surface where this huge facility is. And again, they're working on a lot of energy production. They're working on a lot of medical technology, science laboratories, scientific experimentation on a molecular genetic scale. Also brains of extraterrestrials, how to create hybrids, how to hybridize, how to also deaden emotions of different beings, how to make them robotic workers. Not robots, they're still biological, living, breathing beings, exotic extraterrestrials and humans. Plus the reptilians directing them what to do on the base and how to run the base facilities. So this is the conglomerate of the 3-tier different species of reptilians. And they have ships that come and go on the moon and deliver supplies, and they take bodies away in crates and put it on the ships and take it off the moon somewhere else with extraterrestrial bodies of exotic ETs, and new bodies are delivered to them to experiment on. Some of them are dead, some of them are alive. Some of them become workers on the base. Some of them are used to figure out how psychic ability works, how to crack open their minds and brains and figure out how everything works to manipulate them and control them. Different batches of extraterrestrials and humans. I mean, these reptilians have taken humans from SSP programs and put them to work on their base and caused them to forget certain memories of who they are to keep them working on their huge infrastructure of the space. Energy production, genetics, mind control, mind manipulation, different levels, working on different levels on the space. Some of these humans are engineers working in manufacturing different ships on these docking ports and in these docking facilities. And they're very isolated, so they don't have much contact with other humans. They just do their work. And they look humanoid. Some of them can be from Mars, the moon, from Earth, other humanoid planets. Some of them are extraterrestrials, galactic beings, not from Earth, that have been picked up by the reptilians to do that kind of work. And these are the various reptilians. Some of them look very lizard-like, like with alligator snouts, close to alligator snouts. They're reptilian, you can see that. Some of them have brown skin, green skin, white skin that look like Dracos. And there's human military as well that have been taken from the SSP programs and put to work on the reptilian bases. Because there's different kinds of ships. There's the reptilian ships and there's the human-run ships on this base. They live there, they eat there, they work there. So the humans are operating and running the reptilian facility and also their different crafts. But the reptilians are using the humans as their proxy workers to do all the work on the base. They mind control them and direct them. So the reptilians are the bosses. These three groups of reptilians are the bosses. They're dressed in uniforms. Some of them are dressed in various uniforms. And the humans also have uniforms. Some of them have more casual clothing, but they work on different ships. They work on scientific stuff, medical stuff, research. All of them are mind controlled by the reptilians, and their emotions are deadened. They're cold, emotionally cold and logical, because of what these reptilians have done to them to control them to work this huge base. The living conditions on this base, they all have their own rooms. They have their own sleeping quarters. They're fed, they're clothed. Everything is provided for them to support life, to work on a huge facility. This is like a colony. It is a reptilian base, but it's also a colony where many people work and live. Like humanoid beings work and live on this huge facility because it's more than one building. And they don't look like they're mistreated. They walk around on the base, they do their work, they live, some of them do work in groups, some don't, the humans. So it's not like you can see on the surface level that they're slave labor. On the surface, it looks like, the humanoid species are working with reptilians. Once you look inside their minds, you can tell that something is not right because they don't have emotional free will to feel all emotion. And they don't fully express an emotion to the highest range that humans can. That's been foreshortened by the reptilian mind control and the orders that they're given. So humans are not happy on the space, but they are decently taken care of to do their jobs. Everything is provided for the humans and the hybrid extraterrestrials, the exotic ones. When you look deeper under the surface, what's in their minds, this is when you see that they're mind controlled. To taking care of the reptilian bases, to maintain them, to keep them going, expand infrastructure, build out, and take care of the base, the facility, the many buildings, the many infrastructure, science, medical, research, weapons, ships, creating live experiments or dead experiments, sending them out elsewhere for experimentation or transport, depending on what the reptilians want. The humans do that. So the humans are unwilling caretakers of these facilities, this huge colony reptilian base with a conglomerate of three different types of reptilian species. Some that look more like alligator types. Some of them look like Draco. They're big, they're tall, different skin colors. And their emotional range is control, have power, keep power. They don't really care about humans. They're all about keeping everything that they create, the infrastructure, running. It's all about control for these reptilians. They're not emotionally driven to help other beings. They're driven by power to keep their own stuff going and expanding on the moon and elsewhere in this galaxy. They have their own power agendas and what they do. And this is just one example of this huge, large reptilian base and this reptilian conglomerate working together to control the humans. And the humans are not happy about it, but it's not like they can do much to stop it. And Earth doesn't know about this. So this is the dark aspect of what's happening on that reptilian base on the moon. so you can see what this looks like. And the reptilians are tall, muscular, different body shapes, different facial features. Humans are humanoid. Some humans are from the SSPs. Some humanoids are galactic humans, extraterrestrials, exotic hybrids. And all of them have been mind-controlled, emotionally lobotomized to be workers, like automatons or almost robotic, by how the reptilians can control their minds psychically and physically. And reptilians can threaten them to do anything they want. So this is what's happening on what I call the dark side of the moon. This is what is going on. It's a huge base facility with infrastructure, with energy, with power. Everything is there that you can imagine to live for a long time and operate this kind of huge facility. It's been there for a long time, and it's still very much operational. So this is what I have for remote viewing the large reptilian base and the space human military facilities on the dark side of the moon. Thank you so much.